were sitting on our ketch, our Dreamtime, in Brisbane, when, on a whim, we responded to a post on Facebook by a company looking for a couple to lead a charter flotilla. Next thing we knew, Karen and I suddenly found ourselves winging our way from Australia to Athens, then heading a little south to the island of Porus. This is the home of Greek Sails, the company we would be joining for the Mediterranean summer. Can you believe it? We're actually getting paid to sail a 37-foot Chinook all around the Greek Isles and have fun with charter guests from all over the world. Our first task once aboard our new home, SV Enigma, was to fly our boxing kangaroo flag. The first day leaving from our home base in Porus was a little daunting. We are now responsible for not only our boat, but another 7 yachts and their crews in the flotilla. Porus is a busy harbour at any time, but on Sundays with the charter fleets all leaving, it feels more like Grand Central Station.
We were soon underway, heading north into the Saronic Gulf, and the sails were up. Who says flotilla crew don't sail? What a treat to see a couple of dolphins glide by our bow, a true welcome to the Greek Isles.
Vathi is a beautiful small harbour on the volcanic peninsula that lies north of Trazina and northwest of the island of Porus. It's connected to the Peloponnese by a very narrow isthmus. The old world charm of this tiny port was a huge hit with our Greek Sails flotilla crews. They loved the traditional tavernas surrounding the small fishing harbour. After a warm summer's day of sailing, there's nothing better than sharing a few cold beers and swapping stories about who did what out on the water. We found a fantastic taverna a short walk over the hill from the port. Here you needed to wait for the fishermen who owned the waterfront gem to return with the day's haul before you found out what delights from the sea were for dinner.
There wasn't much wind next morning, but who cares when the weather's like this? It was a perfect day for looking for dolphins around the fish farms. Dolphins live in social groups of 5 to several hundred. They use echolocation to find prey and often hunt together by surrounding a school of fish, trapping them, then taking turns swimming through the school and feeding. They can often be found around the aquaculture tuna pens, making a meal of other fish attracted by the feed that spills through the nets. Their playful antics around the bow are something no sailor ever tires of. When the wind picked up, we were off north to Angistri.
Karen really enjoyed helming Enigma as we learned the characteristics of our home for the summer. We hadn't really known what wind conditions to expect in Greece, but our time in the Saronic Gulf saw a pattern of calm mornings, then enjoyable sailing right through the rest of the day. Naturally, with all the boats of our flotilla heading the same way, informal races were always on the cards.
Our flotilla lead boat Enigma was a little older than the yachts our Greek sales clients were on, but still very nice to sail. However, the 37-foot Jeanneau fin-keeled production boat was very different to our Dreamtime, our own full-keeled, cutter-rigged ketch waiting for us at home. Enigma only had 2 sails to play with compared to our 5, and also only had 2 winches. This meant we had to run the genoa sheet across the companionway whenever we were on a port tack, but we soon got used to it. The lead crew have to see all clients off the dock before leaving for the day's destination, but still need to arrive ahead of the fleet to guide them in and secure their boats in the next harbour. As a result, many flotilla lead crews leave their sails furled and motor everywhere. That wasn't appealing to us, and we had our sails up at every opportunity. We have to admit that we did need to motor sail at times to overtake the fleet, but had the engine off whenever we could. We became very fond of Enigma as the weeks went on. Her only real drawback was the lack of auto helm, which saw us hand-steering the entire 1,400 nautical miles we covered. However, with her fin keel, she was super easy to manoeuvre, which was a godsend in the many tight harbours we visited.
Angistria is the largest of the islets in the surrounding gulf between Aegina and the mainland coast of Epidavros. The port is small but is reasonably well protected, and the beaches are lapped by beautifully clear water. There are a number of tavernas, with Kris overlooking the harbour our favourite. It serves great octopus and steamed mussels as you enjoy stunning sunsets over Corinth. The tiny harbour of near Epidavros was another of our favourite stops due to its natural beauty, and Nikos, our awesome host at Taverna Ta Kaimata. As well as awesome food and the fun of Greek dancing, Nikos also organised taxis to take our crews up to the nearby ancient Epidavros Theatre. This 14,000-seat amphitheatre was built well over 2,000 years ago, yet features amazing acoustics. Someone speaking in centre stage can be clearly heard in the back row.
Regret, I have a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do. I saw it through without exception.
Just a short sail down the coast lay the fantastic natural harbour of Palea Epidavros, featuring lovely bays and beautiful beaches. This popular holiday spot with the locals is a larger town with all the facilities any sailor could want. It was also another great stop where our flotilla enjoyed plenty of laughs and amazing fresh seafood right on the dock at Poseidon Taverna.
As we approached summer's peak holiday season, the number of yachts sailing down from Athens made the Saronic Gulf very, very crowded. We then led our flotillas south from our base in Poros to the Peloponnese Peninsula and our first port at one of our most favourite places, Ermione. Hermione, a beautiful Greek coastal town, rather than inside the actual harbour, we moor our flotilla on the southern quay, which has crystal clear waters. The area is steeped in history dating back millennia. While fishing was the main activity last century, tourism now rules. We love bringing our flotilla here to enjoy Michaelis' Greek feast, where all the crews joined us to sample a delicious range of traditional, local dishes from the Paddock Sea. At times we had over 60 people on board, and Michaelis and his small staff did an incredible job preparing and serving such a wonderful array, spoiling us with more amazing food than anyone could eat. Hermione is a place of captivating beauty surrounded by the sea on three sides. The town has all the required facilities: supermarket, laundry, fuel and water, and an outstanding bakery, the best in the area, where all sorts of Greek delicacies can be found.
We often found good wind to fill our sails in the Hydra Channel around Hermione, particularly as we made our way between the island of Dokos and the mainland. It was a good opportunity for Klim, one of our Greek sales dockhands, to get some helming experience when he joined us on a trip. Once into the northern Agolic Gulf, we discovered that even when the wind blew up a little, the sea state was always quite mild. What more could a sailor want?
More dolphins, of course. These guys are totally unpredictable. Sometimes we wouldn't see any at all during a charter, and the next week they would be everywhere. On other days they wouldn't come near us, while a boat sailing less than a mile ahead or behind would be surrounded by them. Regardless of how often we saw them, whenever they did grace us with their antics on the bow, we were delighted.
Located at the northern extreme of the Agolic Gulf, Nafplion was an important ancient Greek seaport long before the Venetians colonised the place. The harbour is large enough to welcome cruise ships, but we never came across any on our visits. Towering over the town and reached by 857 winding steps is the Venetian-built Palamidi fortress, set atop the hill and offering stunning sea views. Nafplion was the capital of the First Hellenic Republic of Greece from 1821 until 1834. That was before Athens became the seat of government. It is known for its beautiful architecture in the Venetian style. The picturesque alleyways and grand square entice visitors to spend hours wandering and enjoying the now cosmopolitan feel the town has. Nafplion proved another very popular stop amongst our charterers. On one visit, we even managed to take our crews on a side trip to the nearby ancient site of Mycenae. This was the city ruled by Agamemnon, the commander of the Greek forces in the Trojan War. During the 2nd millennium BC, the military stronghold dominated much of southern Greece. Today, Mycenae contains several well-preserved sites, including the Lion's Gate and the North Gate, which form part of its fortified walls. These were once standing 18 metres high and 6 to 8 metres thick. The terrace palace, dwellings, granary and some guard rooms can also be seen. Many artefacts are displayed in a very impressive museum on site. The most remarkable of the burial chambers and best preserved of Mycenae's sites is the tomb of Agamemnon, also known as the Treasury of Atreus. This once elaborate 13th century tomb is carved into Mycenae's hills. The site is ranked as one of the top 10 tourist attractions in Greece. While Greece's infamous Meltemi wind often blew at near gale force in the nearby Aegean waters, the Oberg Gulf remained much nicer. Water depths of anywhere up to 600 and 700 metres and the prevailing northerly wind coming off the land meant that even when 30 or more knots were blowing, the waves never topped around the metre mark. Mostly, however, we experienced pleasant sailing breezes in the 15 to 20 knot range. Quite often a strong afternoon sea breeze would spring up after a calm morning. Yet on other days we could be having a spirited sail in the morning and then in the afternoon find ourselves ghosting along downwind, wing on wing.
Zerikas is a small village built along a natural fjord-like inlet. It's famous for its blue port providing unspoilt, clear waters for yachts to visit and enjoy. Sea turtles abound here, bearing witness to its exceptional water quality. The port village does not boast many facilities, but does have a few lovely tavernas, popular for their fresh fish and seafood throughout the year. The spectacular natural beauty is worth a stop, and the food at Vivi's Taverna Rementos is amazing. Another gem we found was Phocianus, a beautiful bay away from the hectic tourist routes. The brilliant white pebble beach is unspoilt with crystal clear blue waters. 2 nice tavernas are also available with Greek traditional food. Our flotillas don't normally anchor overnight, but we wanted to treat them to one of the things we love about cruising, and we think they are hooked. Flotilla is the picturesque port of Leonidion. It functions mainly on tourism and visiting yachts. A small fishing fleet is also in harbour and supplies fresh seafood daily to the tavernas. A long beach of 4 kilometres lies along the seashore, with a smaller beach found in the harbour itself. A number of tavernas along the quayside, including our favourite margaritas, serve good traditional food.
There's a wise old sailing saying that goes like this: gentlemen don't go to windward. Unfortunately, some days you just got no choice.
Windy, we'll be staying there tomorrow too.
Fortunately, the wind died down in Astros. This is a small, classic family-friendly resort town. It's kept very clean with vehicular traffic restricted in the main waterfront areas. The village has an upmarket feel about it, which is reflected in the modern marina and beachside restaurants. There are plenty of tavernas and bars to choose from, and you could easily spend many hours lazing on a sun lounge, being served the cocktails on offer, or strolling the upmarket boutiques for that something special. One of our flotillas enjoyed a great punch party overlooking the marina, while on other visits we all gathered for an incredible group meal at Estella's Mediterranean cuisine. The food was spectacular, with the servings massive. Some clients rated the Wagyu steak on offer as the best they'd ever experienced. Unfortunately, Astros's calm weather ended when a nasty thunderstorm rolled over the hills just after we left the harbour.
We got 60 knots of wind and still only about half a metre of sea, so unbelievable what the sea state does here on the Oberg Gulf. The storm behind us is really giving us some heavy winds. We're doing 10 knots downwind under motor on bare poles. Now Dreamtimesail's flotilla is sort of scattered about in front of us, but everybody's reporting at the moment that they're all good and safe.
In suitable weather, definitely the most popular of all ways to end a week on flotilla with our charterers was rafting up all the boats for a beach party on the island of Dokos. Just as their holidays all came to an end too quickly, so did our summer with Greek sails. It was time to return to Australia before we knew it. See you next time, Kris.